This is Stars and Scopes with your pal Uma Ruby. Updated every new and full moon with guidance based on planetary transits in the current sky and extra support from tarot. For accuracy, do listen to your rising sign first if you know it, but do feel free to listen to your sun, moon and rising if you'd like the full picture. If you're loving this work and you've got some coins to spare, throw them in the tin over at buymeacoffee.com/Uma Ruby and you can buy me a coffee. Okay, let's drop into it. Hello Gemini and Gemini rising. Welcome to your horoscope for the new moon in Gemini happening on the 30th of May. This is your one. This is the beginning, the New Year's Eve, if you will, of your soul regeneration. This is a moment for you to call in from spirit, from the universe, what it is that you need in order to reach your fullest potential as a little speck of stardust on this planet. Now, I'm going to get the difficult-ish aspects out of the way first, because we've had enough of that during eclipse season and we need some fresh perspective. And then I'm going to get into the good stuff, because there's a lot of good stuff for you, Gem. A lot of good stuff. So Saturn, the planet of boundaries, the rule book, restriction, is still at 25 degrees in Aquarius. This time, it's formed itself a square with Mercury at 26 degrees in Taurus, and Mercury is retrograde. So there is some messages in here about miscommunication, about the truth or the answers or the message not getting through. This is going to happen, I think, until we get that's going to be released from us like June 4th or something. I can't remember. It's not in front of me, but it's coming. Mercury will station direct again soon enough. Right now, we've just got to kind of go with the forgotten emails or go with the misunderstandings or the hurt feelings. If there are hurt feelings, then just talk about them. That's what Gemini does. She talks. She talks and talks and talks. So do that. Okay, so moving on to more positive aspects that are happening at this lunation. The moon is at 9 degrees of Gemini. The tarot card that correlates with that degree is the Eight of Swords. Now this is the card that kind of represents a mental cage. It's too many thoughts or too many truths or too many perspectives, or just a kind of turbulence in the mind that's sort of reaching a fever pitch. It's feeling restricted or bound or helpless in the face of the truth. This is all completely normal and natural and understandable right now, let's be honest. I think that there is so much stuff in our periphery that's going on that is really damaging and really hurtful. The new moon there in your soul house, in your life purpose, your very essence, is a really great energy to be able to move away from some of this Eight of Swords vibe. It's going to be a really good time for you to call in what it is that you need in order to keep going, in order to move ahead and to thrive and be the best version of yourself that you can be. So that's that. Lovely energy in collaboration with this is the conjunction between Jupiter and Mars in Aries. That's forming a supportive sextile to the moon. So Jupiter is the supportive auntie or nana. She's the one that, comes in, says, oh, that's lovely, darling, you're doing really well. Great, let's have more of that, more and more of that. So zooms in and zooms out. She's doing that to Mars. Mars is the warrior, the leader, the fire starter. Mars is the one that's got the boxer matches that's about to burn the whole thing down. Mars is passion and red and all of those sorts of things. Mars in Aries couldn't be happier. Mars is so happy in there. Mars is thriving in Aries right now. The tarot card that correlates with the degree that Mars is in, 4 degrees of Aries, is the Two of Wands. So that's quite literally the tarot card of Mars in Aries. It's that action plan. It's looking out into the distance, realizing you've got the whole world in your hand and making plans to get this done, to follow that passion. So this energy is really in support of your first house. It's really lovely. Aries for you is your 11th house of the greater community and humanity as a whole. So maybe in some ways you're looking to the folks around you, whoever it is that you consider community, that are going to be sort of buoying you on and supporting you through this. It also could be read as your passion for greater humanity, what it is, how do you consider, how do you line up your soul purpose in service to humanity at large? What things are burning up and setting fire to your interest in the greater sense of all of us? What part do you play in that? So a new moon in the first is a really great time to close the door. I really want you to take this moment to run a bath, to meditate, to wash your hair, to do whatever it is that makes you feel worthwhile and gorgeous in your own company. You don't need to so much kind of include too many other people, even though that sounds like a misnomer because we were just talking about the 11th house and community. But let's focus in on you for the moment for this new moon. You can focus on the community in time to come. You know, Mars and Jupiter, they're going to be in there for a little while, so there's plenty of work to do. But take this moment of the new moon just for yourself. Okay, so that's the planets, that's the new moon, that's the relaxing manifestation period that we can all enjoy and look forward to. I've also pulled you a separate reading from a separate deck, more intuitive reading this time, and we can see if we can sew it together with what's happening in the sky. On the back of the deck, I got for you the Magician, which is perfect. The Magician is number 1 in the major secrets of the Arcana. The Magician is the co-creator, the one that knows exactly what to do with the cups and the pentacles and the swords and the wands to make it work for them. They are the one calling in the magic. There's something really mystical and fantastical about the Magician's energy. So let's use that as the base note for this reading and to see how that number 1 can line up with your number 1. What elements of the Magician can you harness and can you bring out in you in order to fill out your soul purpose, your first house needs and wants and desires? The other cards I got for you are, you got a good one, Gemini, actually. You got the High Priestess, you got the Chariot in reverse, and you got the Knight of Swords. So this is telling me that intuition will speak louder than words for you. I know there's all this Gemini stuff, and that's how you thrive, is through active verbal communication. You sort of get things registered and worked out in your brain by talking about them. Beautiful trait. What is the body telling you? What are the goosebumps telling you? What's the heart rate telling you? What's the perspiration telling you? You know, think about all of those sorts of things and how are they related? How is that related to the bottomless depths of human consciousness, to that kind of experience, that really spiritual terrain, the mystery? The Magician is a show girl. The High Priestess, she ain't. She doesn't say anything. So that's a nice energy to work with in your magic, in your soul purpose. Maybe there's things that you don't need to give away so freely to community. There's things that you can absolutely assist with and use your skills and talents, but there's definitely things to keep for yourself. And that's being qualified by the Chariot in reverse, because the Chariot upright is forward movement. It's quick, fast moving energy. It's really young, youthful, strident. It's the same balance of light and dark as the High Priestess, but it's forward moving. It's right in your face. The High Priestess sits back. The Chariot upside down encourages you to do the same thing. Don't be too rash. Don't move forward just yet. And then we have the Knight of Swords, which is another fast moving, quick, turbulent energy. So I think that this is kind of really saying to me that this soul time, this time for you to really work it out, who it is that you are and what it is that you want to be, to become, how can you be of service to humanity, what skills do you have and how are you going to best use them. Take this moment to drop into the intuition, and when the time is right, the Knight of Swords, as opposed to the Chariot, the Knight of Swords has the truth in their hand and they're wielding it, not in an aggressive way, but in a triumphant way. Once you have that truth, you'll move ahead and it will be perfect for everyone. So that's your reading, Gemini. I hope you enjoyed it. If you'd like to throw some pennies in the pot, do head over to buymeacoffee.com/Uma Ruby. That's where I accept my tips these days. And I will be speaking to you in 2 weeks for the full moon in Sagittarius, which will be one to look forward to, a nice shedding, but this time a shedding that we are co-creating with, that we have autonomy over. Our free will can be a part of this rather than the bluntness of the eclipse. Much love to you, new moon blessings, take care, and I'll speak to you then. Ta-da.